Hi everyone, my name is James Feeney. Welcome to or back to my channel. Yes, I am in the same clothes, I am wearing the same jewelry, I am in the same setting, and it is because I am filming videos back to back because I have the time and I am trying to capitalize on that. So yeah, you're catching me right after this last video that I did. I wanted to hop on again to in some way, shape, or form announce what I plan to do come 2020, and that is to participate or have myself a nice a depth year. So this is something that I've been thinking about for a few weeks. For those of you who don't know what a depth year is, it is a broad topic, so for me to try to define it might be difficult. Essentially, just limiting spending and unnecessary purchases, keeping track of what we spend and what we purchase, maybe setting certain guidelines or prohibiting certain expenditures for the purposes of utilizing what we have, appreciating what we have, getting more in touch with that, and becoming less, how do I put this? For me personally, it's to kind of investigate my own habits, spending habits, materialistic tendencies, to investigate what these mean for me personally, and to also help me to save some money, to become smarter fiscally. So there's a lot to it for me. I will say that this is primarily inspired by Kellyanne Maddox and her depth year. I love Kellyanne. I have kept up with her depth year in its entirety, as well as just her channel and her videos. I've done readings and sessions with her, so I recommend those if you at all are considering it. She's wonderful. She's a great help. I'm so much better off having gone through some readings and sessions with her. And I remember she and I talking about this months ago, just because I do suffer with poor money management, spending, where all of that is concerned. It's not a strong suit for me. It's not an area that I'm super healthy in. And I think that I wasn't ready at the time to enact or push myself to the point where I would have sort of a depth year. So I think that starting in 2020 is perfect. Just because also like the holidays makes it really tough. I have to buy presents for a lot of people. My birthday, my sister's birthday, and two of my best friends' birthdays are within like a 5-day span within December. Spending is just basically between Thanksgiving and New Year's is wild. So I think trying to start it just like December 1st is not, I will not do very well if I try that. So we are aiming for the new year for when this will begin. But yeah, so I want to participate in this depth year. I will come back more getting closer to New Year's, so about a month from now, maybe a little bit less, with more definitive guidelines for myself that I will share with you all. I am announcing this in part to hold myself accountable and sort of create like a diary for me to look back on, because I do plan to do updates regularly on and post them. So that way I can hold myself accountable. I can look back and reflect on the depth year in parts, so that I don't forget certain things that I might have otherwise forget. So that's part of it. Another part of it is just to hopefully this is something that is interesting to all of you. I know that this is not something that everybody needs or wants. You might not be in a place where you need this at all or feel that it's necessary or something that you are looking to do. I understand that a lot of people actually do have very healthy relationships with money and spending, or maybe you don't and you just don't feel like you're in a place to start something like this as an undertaking, which I can fully sympathize or empathize with I should say, being that I didn't feel comfortable, or I wouldn't have felt comfortable trying to start something like this a few months ago. Even now, I am wary and nervous about how this will go, given my current habits and past habits. So, hoping for the best, and I'm going to create hopefully very thorough guidelines. I'm somebody who knows that if I am vague and don't really create a system to not trap myself, but to hold myself within, that I will find loopholes, I will rationalize, I will avoid, I will do everything under the sun to sabotage the depth year and to allow my unhealthy habits to prevail. So, for example, I think I'm going to do things like, instead of banned categories, things that I am not allowed to purchase, I'm going to maybe alter that into something like investigative, or almost like like investigative categories. Things like, I know for sure, tarot and oracle deck, things like that. Tarot and oracle decks, books, clothing / accessories. What else do I spend a lot on? Going, like, eating out, and not, this whole depth year is not meant to limit me. So I don't mean going out in terms of with friends and family. I mean just eating out by myself, for myself, when I could just as easily eat at home. So areas like that, I definitely think I will set very definitive guidelines. I've been thinking that potentially for tarot, I will have sort of a checklist. So say I want a deck where I have to write about why I think this, in a way that causes me to self-reflect on what it is about that thing that I think I need, and for what purpose, and what I am trying to get out of it for myself, and why I actually think I need it when I don't. I mean, I won't need it, but why I really want it, and how I justify that. So writing about that, maybe having sort of like a checklist of saying, like, does this fulfill something new? Does this fill a spot within your collection, your current collection, that is otherwise like uninhabited by a deck? Setting that up, and then using that as a way to filter and stop myself, but not just in a way that is a blind no, that's very confrontational and the end of the story, but that makes me investigate what it is about these things, what it is about my spending, what it is about my desire to acquire, and how I can learn from that. Ultimately, within those checklists and that journaling that I might do, the goal is to really distill it down to hopefully negating most of the purchases, if not all of them. So that's the idea there. I mean, the same with books and food, and I think as far as like food goes, that might not be one that I will journal about, but I might set very reasonable guidelines that are firm and doable for me. So this is a lot of, there's a lot to think about here. I really need to try to cover the spectrum so that I don't weasel my way out, or work my way around these things, or drop off. It needs to be not so strict that I find myself giving up with frustration, but strict enough and detailed enough that I can work within it and find a benefit from it. So while I am quite nervous, because I know that there will be many, many, many wonderful books and tarot decks and opportunities in 2020, I am hopeful that there will be a lot to be gained from this exercise or experience, and that it might benefit me in the long term and might foster some more self-growth and understanding. So I am excited for that. I am nervous. I think that this is something that will be extremely difficult. I mean, I have engaged in a lot of I believe Natalia Ouroboros made a video on this, and I watched it, like the binge tarot behavior, binging of the buying of the decks, and yeah, I am somebody who uses shopping and retail type scenarios, or purchasing of things, to avoid feelings, harder to deal with subjects, and will try to rationalize it as self-care or things along those lines. So, and on top of this, I hope that I can save some money and hopefully exercise some financial responsibility that might benefit me in the long term and allow for certain things. Now, yeah, I think I'm going to be also creating a list of things that I am allowing myself, very specific things, like one-off things that I know that I have in mind that I might want in 2020. I mean, for example, I've been like getting into more so like drumming, shamanic drumming, and depending, there might be that I would like potentially a larger drum at some point. I mean, this is very much like a nebulous idea right now, but I don't want to like then be within the year and find myself stuck when that is something that I had been thinking about for a very long time and had like a well thought out purchase. So yeah, so much to consider. Just wanted to come on here and announce that if any of you have experiences with depth years, please tell me. If you are considering this yourself, please tell me. I would love to know your thoughts and your own unique perspective, why you're doing it or why you did it, what you gained from it, what you hope to gain from it. If you have videos on this, please link them below. I want to watch them all. I'm about to go on like a big spree of watching depth year videos, and I think that those will be really awesome and helpful and add to my perspective on this topic. If you guys have never heard of a depth year or this is a new subject matter, let me know what you guys think on just like the topic or the idea itself. I hope that I explained it decently well, and I know that it's something that's very different for everyone, so creating a definition isn't easy. Anyway, I digress. Thank you guys so much for watching and joining me. I will be back in maybe three or so weeks, hopefully with set guidelines to hand over to you guys to discuss with you guys. So yeah, hope you guys are all having a great day. Bye. Until next time.